Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Christy Wuchukwu's Brilliance TV show that we do every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's right. And today is a special day, and I hope you get your water, get your iPad, get your pen, and whatever you have to write with, and come on over and bring your girlfriend and whoever and come on over because it is about to get hot in here. That's right. So, who's talking to you? My name is Christy Iwuchukwu, and I am the CEO and founder of Women's Coaching Association, where we do one thing, and that is to educate, collaborate, and speak. That's right. And this show cannot be without you. It is because of you, because we bring you what you want to hear about. So, what do you want to hear about, and what do I bring you? Well, this show is all about spotlighting today's entrepreneurs, business leaders, unique and most successful individuals to bring you topics every week, both on your personal life as well as in your business to enhance what's already working. Or maybe you can pick up some tips, and today is no exception. That's right. And if you want to know more about how you can join our organization, please go on over to Women's Coaching Association.com. It's women's with an S, Women's Coaching Association.com. Click on the membership info, and there you will find all the perks of becoming a member today. And I hope to see you there. But guess what? I have a special guest today. Our special guest is none other than Queenette Nwobodo. And she's coming to us all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. That's right, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. And let me tell you a little bit about Queenette. Now, Queenette is a business coach who helps coaches sell high ticket coaching successfully. After struggling with sales and marketing, Queenette built her coaching business from $1,188. You heard me. I said $1,188. In 6 months, she went from that to $120,000. Now, listen, I don't know whether I can do justice talking about Queenette and what she does and what she has accomplished, but I want you to hear it from her own mouth. So the next voice that you're going to hear will be that of Queenette Nwobodo. Queenette, are you there?
I am. Thank you so much, Christy, for having me.
Thank you for joining me. Oh my goodness, it's been quite a while since we spoke,
Yeah.
and I am super excited that you have said yes to come and share with my tribe today, and I am so looking forward to really partake in what you have to share. So thank you for joining us. And how is pandemic? And I hope that you and your family, that you guys are doing well.
Yes, we are. Thank goodness we are. Everyone's doing well.
So tell me, who is Queenette Nwobodo? I said that oftentimes we have heard about people, or we do know about people after they have reached their momentum. They have gotten where they want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're beginning to rock their brilliance. Mm-hmm. But we don't know what happened while they were in the valley. And oftentimes it's being in the valleys where people get the most lesson. Mm-hmm. So open that curtain and take us back. Yeah. How you began and how you got to be here today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christy. You have the best introductions, by the way, ever. It is so good to be here. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Queenette Nwobodo. I am a business coach. So how did I get started? So one day I was sitting at my desk as a school counselor, and I looked up to the ceiling and I said, God, is this it? And it wasn't from an ungrateful place. It was, I was feeling called for more. Like I felt like I was being called for more. I felt like there was more inside of me that needed to come out. And even though I loved my job as a school counselor, helping the children, helping families, I just felt like God was sending me to another place, to a higher place, to have more impact, to have a bigger impact. And so I was scared. At first, I didn't know what it is that I wanted to do in the entrepreneur world. I know it was something around coaching because I was already a counselor. And so I kept looking around and kept looking around. And finally, I found Periscope. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Periscope. And so what happened was I started live streaming on Periscope 3 nights a week. So I would do my 9 to 5, and then I would come home. So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I would turn on Periscope and I would share a message, right? I was so nervous, shaking, sweating. And I said, okay, I have to get message out. I have to say something. I have to, build my tribe. I have to, get the message out. Because, people always saying at that time, put out content, put out content, put out content. And so I was putting out content consistently for like 6 months. So I grew an audience, right? And so I thought, okay, good. So now let me sell something, right? Now you have an audience. Now you can sell something. There's people in front of you and they're going to buy it. So I pitched my program. It was $297 at the time. And 4 people bought it. That's where you get the $1,188 from. 4 people of all the people that were watching. And that time I had accumulated a lot of people watching. I guess because Periscope was new, it was easy to get a lot of people to watch, I guess. And so I was devastated. I said, I put in all this work for months upon months, pouring, sharing, and only 4 people. So I was like, this is not sustainable. And so I almost gave up. I was like, I have children, I have a husband, I have a family. Is this really a thing? Because I would see things on the internet. I'm like, is this internet thing real? Like, can people really make a real living and leave their 9 to 5? And so it was hard. It was hard because coming home, like, when you see a dream, when you have a vision inside of you and you're trusting what God is saying to you, and then you put all your energy into it, and then and it doesn't work out the way you had imagined in your mind. It was a tough time. I almost walked away from all of it because I was just like, oh, maybe this is not for me. It's for them, but maybe it's not for me. And so that's one of the first memories I have in getting started and feeling frustrated and feeling like what I'm saying is not connecting.
It's not connecting. Absolutely. I think anybody, including myself, I can definitely relate to that, starting in business, feeling like it's not connecting. And not only that, it's really the fear of being on social media. And definitely. But before I dive into how you can help share with our audience today, I want to go back to Queenette way before this Queenette that we know. Because you have really proven that your circumstances doesn't have to become your reality. And some of us may not know about Queenette and why Queenette is so passionate now to be able to help others, reaching back and reaching down to be able to serve other people, especially women. So tell us your journey. And I know some of you didn't know, but I'm telling you now, she's a home girl coming from Nigeria. You can already tell from the last name. So
Yeah.
let's because the reason I ask this, and oftentimes people think that they can't do something based on what they have been through, but you went through it to be able to offer the blessing to somebody else, and that has been your journey. So can you take us back a little bit before you go?
Christy wants to go way back. So to really understand the passion I have for helping women build profitable coaching company, you have to understand. I came to America when I was 7 years old with my mom and 3 brothers. And when we got here, we came for the American dream. My mom said, you're going to come here, you're going to go to school, you're going to graduate, you're going to have a job, and you're going to live the American dream, have your house, have your kids, have your home, all those things, right? But when we first came, we lived in the South Bronx. Now, if you're not familiar with the South Bronx, and certain areas of the South Bronx is really what we would call, some people might use the term ghetto, low income. The chances of kids going to college out of that particular neighborhood is so low. It's a shame, right? And so college wasn't in like anything that people really thought we could do. But growing up in a Nigerian household, we were always taught like college is for you. We were always taught like no matter where you live, the vision you have for your future is the most important thing. So I held on to that vision that my parents created for me, um, and to really explain, let me talk about the self-worth part. So when we came to America 4 years later, my father died in Nigeria, so my mother went home to Nigeria to bury him, right? And she never came back. And so I stayed with my aunt and uncle throughout the years. So during my formative years as a teenager, I got really angry. I just didn't understand why my mother couldn't come back, because I felt abandoned. I felt that I couldn't trust people. And I really developed a sense of like, you can't trust people, you have to do things on your own, right? And so over the years, that turned into low self-worth, low self-esteem, feeling like I wasn't lovable, like I wasn't enough. Like if my mother didn't come back for me, then I turned into, if she didn't come back for me, that means she didn't love me. And if my mother can't love me, then no one else can love me. And so to be honest, like dealing with that low self-worth for so many years, to the point where I almost walked away from Mr. Right, because I'm like, he can't possibly love me. Like no one can love me. So the reason why I share that is because it really transferred into business. And I felt like a lot of people that I coach now have a low self-worth when it comes to their business, when it comes to the value that they create in the marketplace, right? And so you'll see later when we start talking about high ticket coaching, how your self-worth is connected to the income you're able to make. And so healing over the years has been one of the best gifts I've given myself, is being able to heal the pain, heal from the past, and really build up my self-worth and know that I'm worthy, I'm enough, I'm necessary, and those sort of things, right? And so long story short, graduated from college and have all those check marks, if you will. But really, what I would say the next thing that really shook me to the core in terms of purpose and being so driven with helping women create an incredible income is watching my aunt pass away. And I think that is one of those things where you watch someone you love who's incredible, who's fierce, and watch people talk her out of her dreams. 3 times she had 3 big dreams, and I watched someone she loved say, "That's not a good idea. Don't build a laundromat there. Don't build the ice cream parlor there. Don't do this. Don't do that." And so she was talked out of 3 of her entrepreneurial dreams, and I just think that's a travesty. And so for me, one of my superpowers, look, I'm getting teary eyed because of my aunt. Um, one of my superpowers is helping women truly believe in their vision, believe in their gift, truly from like on a deep cerebral level, like believe in what vision you have, holding true to it, and helping them turn that into a profitable venture. And so Chrissy took me back, but I think it's important.
I'm asking that. I ask you that question for a reason, because oftentimes you talk so much about self worth, and I know that sometimes, especially if you are new to doing anything, especially this business, and it's difficult. It's difficult not to compare yourself with other people. It's difficult not to, for you to think that you have anything worth saying that people want to hear about. And oftentimes we tend to stay there. And you talk about, your aunt and people talking her out of her dream that she wanted so much. But because people talked her out of it, she never got to realize those dreams. And for the most part, people talk her out of it because she wasn't sure whether she can do it or not do it. And
So
which is absolutely what we do. Because I remember when I was starting out, that was a big part of me, because you were a business coach and you have somebody saying, "Well, why should you be a business coach? You don't know anything about business. Why should you have your title as a business coach? You are a confidence coach." And somebody said, "Well, no, you don't have enough expertise to be a confidence coach." And the list can go on and go on and go on. And after a while, it's like, who am I?
mm,
What you are have always been who you are. And oftentimes, I say that to say that sometimes people can talk you out of what you want to do, but the reason being that you're not even sure. And in my own case, I was still testing the water. I
Mm.
was still testing the water. And so, how then did you go from that, being a counselor and having thought in school as well, to being this person now, helping women creating multiple six-figure coaching business?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I think representation matters a lot. Representation matters. My first coach showed me a different level of thinking, a different level of being. And when I watched her, it took me 3 of my school counseling checks to invest in her program, right?
Mm.
And I said to myself, wow, it's going to be 3 checks, which I didn't have. Like, there, no one has a budget for coaching, by the way, right? And we'll talk about that later. But I said to myself, I believe the vision that God showed me. This is all I kept saying to myself. I believe the vision that God showed me. And if it's going to take 3 checks to bring forth this vision, then let it be so. Because I trust the fact that because I'm a hard worker, right? So I felt like, okay, because I'm a hard worker, if I put some hard work behind some good strategy, I can do this. And so my first coach really stretched me, right? And she literally explained things. And these are some of the tips I'll talk about in a second. But she explained things in a way that blew my mind. Because when you grow up in a poverty mind, when you grow up in poverty, right, you
Yes.
have a lack mindset. And so I couldn't wrap my mind around the idea that somebody's asking for 3 checks, like right at that time, like 3 checks to pay for coaching. At that time, like, social workers, school counselors, like, let's say I was getting paid by like bi-weekly, right? I was in an institution, but like some of the counselors or social workers that had like a side gig, they would get paid like $120 something an hour. And so here comes this package, and I'm just like, how can you charge that?
Mm.
Whatever God did that allowed her to do that, I want that on me, right? And so the number one thing that helped me go from where I was, poverty mindset, lack, not believing, not knowing how things were going to happen, is to invest in someone that was already where I wanted to be. And so that investment, right, even though it was monetarily, it did something psychic, it did something to my brain, and it did something to my spirit. And it called me to a higher place that I didn't even think was possible for me. And so I will say that first investment that was stretching me, like, and I say stretch, let me tell you something. I will be lying if I said I looked at that and I was like, oh, okay. I was stretched. I was said, who, what, where, when, why? How is this? And so what I decided was decide, right? Very important word. I decided that I'm going to become that coach. I'm going to become a coach that can deliver high value in such a way that people get results in such a way that they will mind at all paying high ticket coaching, because my results are going to be worth it to them. It's going to be something they thank me for later and later and later, right? And so I would say how I went from there to there is investing in my own development. It was business development, but honestly, there was a lot of personal development that came from making that investment in myself. So that was a big shift.
I can only imagine going from $1,188 to $120,000 in
6 months
months.
later,
In
correct.
6 months later, you were able to make that. And you brought up a good point because, especially now that we have pandemic, it's this issue of people not being able to invest in themselves.
Mhm.
And even when they do have the money to invest themselves, it's is that giving yourself permission to know that you can invest in yourself today. You may not have enough money to do it, but if you can find some money, which a lot of times, how women, how we do it, we can find some money, but sometimes the money is directed to the wrong thing, right? But if you can find the money and invest it, and maybe go without for couple of months, but really hope for what you want to accomplish, what the objective is, that you will definitely make it. And you have proven that. So, having said that, knowing that you really, really take your job, and I don't call it job because for you, it's really having fun and helping these women make multi multiple six figure.
Yeah.
How does one really go from selling one coaching session to 4 to 5 coaching packages?
Yeah.
How does that how can, especially, and I'm saying this because there's a lot of people that may be looking at you right now, and maybe they are starting out in business, and you are saying what you're saying. The question is, how do you do that? How do you go? Not only are you going from $1,188 to 120 in 6 months later, now you're talking about selling one session, but no, selling 4 to 5 session coaching. So how does one get how does that get accomplished?
Yeah. The first thing is the mindset switch, right? I don't even think about it as selling sessions, right? So the first thing is we need to get away from this idea that we're selling sessions or that we're selling coaching. Okay. So the first step I want you to do, if you're listening, is shift from the mindset of selling a time or selling the sessions or selling that. And I want you to begin to think about the results you produce for someone in their life, right? So oftentimes, amazing women, I always say this, I have the best clients on the planet. My clients are purpose-driven, legacy thinking, life changers. And so the women I coach change lives for real. Like they impact people on such a deep level that their lives too change, right? And so when I'm coaching, one of the biggest tip I have is I want you to think about the results that you provide for people. How does the person's life change, right? Because when you begin to think about how you change the lives of people, you get to see that you're not only changing their lives for a month or two, you're changing their lives forever. So, the case in point, let's just use Rita, one of my clients, right? She's a career coach, right? And for Black women in corporate America. So she was on Instagram, right? She had a lot of people following her, a lot of people commenting and things like that, but she wasn't converting those comments, right, into clients, right? So she had a live event and she wasn't able to sell the tickets. She had about 60 seats. She sold about 15% of them, right? And then when she came to me, one thing we did was we tweaked the messaging. Once we tweaked the messaging and she can show the value of what she was going to provide at the event, not only did she sell out the 60 seats, she sold 10 seats more, which means she had to borrow seats, literally get chairs to add because she went over the ticket sales, right? And so that happens when we shift from thinking about it from a dollar perspective to thinking about it from a value perspective. How do the lives of the people you work with change, right? And so, can I start with tip number one? Look, I'm like,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Tip number one. Look, I'm like, I can't wait. I'm like, I want to give it to them already. So, tip number one, right, is I want you to think of high-end coaching clients. They pay for speed and results. High-end coaching clients, people that want to pay high-end, they pay for speed and results, right? So the first thing you have to do as a business owner is take inventory. This is so important. Take inventory, right, of the results you can produce for people and write them down. Now, if you don't know, because oftentimes we shrink, we don't even realize how brilliant we are. Speaking of brilliance, right? We don't realize how impactful we are in the lives of other people. So what I have my clients do is I want you to take interview some people that you've coached, whether they've paid you or not, and write down some of the things that they said that you did to change their life. Write down the results you produce for those people, whether paid or free, and have a list of those things, right? And I want you to look at those things and look at those things in terms of longevity, because they think differently. Now they've changed. Like, for example, let's just use the coach I had, right? Because I changed my mindset, right? Working with her, right? I've changed the generational trajectory of my entire family. So the money, the 3 checks that I paid I'm just like, thank God she would even price it at a point so I can step up into that. So I can see a better vision, so I can have a better outlook, right? And so the ripple effects of that is like, it's still happening right now. Multiple, right? So I paid 3 checks, but now multiple life change. I work freedom lifestyle in my kids' school whenever I want. Left my 9 to 5 years ago, right? So she's changed, right? She's helped. I changed, right? But I guess what I'm saying is that the results, right, is long after the coaching session is over. When you help a woman with confidence, right, and she's able to leave an unhealthy relationship, you've changed her life forever, right? Her kids get to see her being a different woman. Her kids get to see her being happier, right? She gets to be happier. You change her life forever. And so what I want you to do is get away from this idea of thinking about sessions, thinking about money, and think about the result, how you change their lives forever. And when you think about how you change someone's life forever, money is no longer an issue. Money is no longer an issue, right? And so number one, I would say is high-end coaching clients, we pay for results and they pay for speed. There's something in you, Christy, right? For example, that when people work with you, they just get it real fast. They get the clarity of that message and they get it fast. You know how to structure the speaking, right? So they get to speak on stage confidently. You collapse time for somebody. That's speed. And you get them the results. Now they can speak on stage confidently, right? And know exactly what to say. That, Christy, is priceless. Do you know how many people, myself included, I know it doesn't look like it now, who are scared to speak on stage? Scared to speak on stage, that like crippled, like, oh my goodness, I'm not sure. So when they coach under you, you change their lives. They get to get their message out, something that God gave them, their purpose. They get to get that out. That is priceless. That is priceless. And so when they come to me and they pay you high end, they have no problem because now they get to live their dreams. They get to make a bigger impact, reach more people, grow their tribe, and so they win, right? So I guess the number one thing is get away from this idea of I'm paying for sessions and think about only the results that you provide, right? With the mindset that high-end ticket coaching is all about getting people results and results fast. So you have to take inventory of what you already possess that collapses time for people and that produces results.
I love what you said because it makes a lot of sense. Because if you do invest in high-end coaching, definitely the result is faster. Yes, you invest more, but the result, you get it faster than you would have if you invested in nickels and dime. Now, I'm not knocking on nickels and dime, but the process is different. And I can definitely attest to the process. So the challenge is that, well, before we continue, let me say hello to our viewers today. Nora Jackson, thanks for watching. Loana Parker, Jackie Bates, and Janice Cummins, thank you all for watching. Please be sure to put your information. If you have any comments or any question at all, please be sure to put it in the comment section and I will get to the comment section. Hello, everybody. I really appreciate all of you joining us today. So let's continue.
Okay. Oh, I couldn't see the comments. Okay. I couldn't.
Yes. Hello. Yes. So okay. let's talk about one of the challenges that people face. Okay. Because people have accumulated experiences over the years. Yeah. People are smart. And I've always said, we're brilliant. People have a lot of experiences. They've worked over a period of years. And they have skills, talents, and gifts. They are smart. But they get into this business. There's something that keeps them stuck. Hmm. The marketing part, one thing. Mm-hmm. So I have all this. I've created it. There's a cricket. Mm-hmm. No one is buying. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't really know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is not really a good product. Or to the extent of where do I even begin? So this product that I have right now, I've created this high-end product, coaching, high-ticket coaching for those that already experience. How do I go about selling it and who's going to buy? Is anybody at all going to buy this high-end? That's always, who will pay me for it and where do I find people to pay me for it? Where do I find people to pay for it?
Right. First thing, right? Put my coaching hat on, right? Is you have to make sure that your messaging is clear. I think a lack of clarity in the message attracts what I call browsers instead of buyers, right? If the message is not clear, you're only going to attract people who watch you, who applaud maybe, who like click on like this or like that. And when you sell, they won't buy because your message is not clear, right? So buyers, people who want to buy, people who want to buy they need clarity. They need to know, what can you do for me after I work with you, right? How can you take me from point A to point B? So the first thing I would say is look at the message and make sure that the message is clear. Because if it's not clear, the audience members are going to be people who are browsers. They're just watching you. They're just passing along, right? And not people who are buyers, who are ready to take out their credit card and invest in your transformation. So one thing, take a look is what, and this, you can test it. How you'll know, right? Is I guess if no one's buying, you might want to take a step back and say, am I clear on the results I provide? Ask yourself this question, right? When people, and sometimes that's why coaching is important, because sometimes it's clear to you because you own the information. So you're like, I know how I can help them, but you have to say it in a language, right? You have to say it in a way that somebody else can say, oh, that's what she does. Oh, that's how my life will change. So earlier on, when I was helping people meet and marry Mr. Right, it's very clear. Meet and marry Mr. Right, right? When I helped the reader fill up her event, it was simple. Well, she was doing webinars also. I was just like, make it clear. I help you fix your resume so you can get a job, right? Fix your resume, get a job. You fix your resume, you get a job. Clarity, right? So I think a lot of times the message is too confusing, it's too cluttered, and it's all over the place. So one of the things you want to do is make sure that you have a clear, crispy, simple message that a 10-year-old can understand. So if I tell a 10-year-old, I help women make money by selling coaching packages, right? Or something simple like that, right? That's enough. It doesn't have to be overly sophisticated, because when you start making it sophisticated and cute, people get confused. So just keep it simple. Just keep it simple. I help people get paid from speaking on stage, right? That could be someone, right? I had a doctor. She helps writers. She helps freelance writers. She helps moms, right? She's a freelance writer that helps mom do freelance writing at home, right? So stay at home mom, she helps them write, she helps them, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about too many things at one time. So the doctor, she has another multiple stream of income that we created. She's a freelance writer, right? She helps stay at home moms also create their own freelance writing business at home. So now they can be at home with their kids and they can write at the same time. Again, very, very simple. So I would say make sure that the message is clear, make sure it's simple so that you can speak to buyers and not browsers. Okay? I don't know.
Yes, so that you can, and that makes a lot of sense, because oftentimes, myself included, we start adding in fluff. When you add a lot of fluff, try to be so fancy, try to use this big word, you add it in fluff, right. Your message get lost. And when your message get lost, you're wondering why your product is not and services are not selling. It's not because they are good, because you can look and see somebody doing the same thing and selling their product and services, but it's because the message is lost in the fluff.
Yes.
Lose the fluff so that the message can be clear.
Simple.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Jackie, Nora, Lawana, and Janice. Thanks again for watching. So, what if I'm going to speak for those that are new.
Okay.
What if I was new? Can I still create a high ticket coaching packages?
Yeah. In fact, that is the recommendation. When you're starting out, the best way to scale to 6 figures and beyond is to create high ticket coaching. The biggest mistake a lot of new coaches make is that they start off pricing themselves so low, and then what they don't realize is that money is just energy. Whether it's $97 or $5,000, if someone wants to buy from you, they're gonna buy from you, and if they don't want to buy from you, they won't buy from you. And so your price what you've done was turn a transformation into a commodity. And whenever you become a commodity, you blend in with everybody else. And so you guys all sound the same. And so I don't want it anyway. So let me explain what I mean by that, right? When you're brand new, right? The first thing you have to do is think about and take inventory of the transformation that only you can provide. So you have to almost dig deep and go into like a spiritual, place and think about, what did God put in you? Like seriously, what did God put in you? What makes you special? What makes you stand out? What makes you different? Their personalities, there's quirk, there's something about you, right? That when you do it, people's lives change. It's just, I mean, and a lot of times it's the being, is who you are being. Is when people are around you, you're being something that does something for people, right? And so what you want to do is figure out, take inventory of what that is, and then look in the marketplace and find out, is this a need that is necessary? Is this a need that people are actively paying for? So after you take an assessment of your skills, your talents, your abilities, then you want to look into the marketplace and say, okay, is this something, the list of things that I have, is this something that the marketplace is paying for? Is this what people are actively paying for? I would say always start with things people are actively paying for, because that's the fastest way to build your empire. What we do often, and I have to help a lot of coaches tweak their mindset around this, is that we're trying to mix ministry and marketplace, and it doesn't work together. So a lot of times people are trying to use a nonprofit idea and try to make profit from it, and that is a mistake, because our nonprofit, the things we give to, is very near and dear to our heart, but we don't realize that's not a marketplace, that's not a profit business building idea. And so separating the two is about building your profitable business idea, making sure you're making a lot of money. And then from the overflow, give really well to that nonprofit idea that you have. Give to the nonprofit or start a nonprofit. But the mistake newbies make is they try to use a nonprofit idea to make profit, and it doesn't work. Because most times that nonprofit idea, those people can't afford to pay you. You see that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I'll go back to myself. When I was starting out, you wanted to do what you wanted to do, and but I have to tell you, I think that some of it is the mindset, like you said, because you don't even believe, you are good at this, you can do this, but you don't even believe in yourself. You don't believe in your abilities, and so you tend to gravitate towards the lesser, not because you're so much in love with it, but you think this is what I can do right now, because I don't think I can do this right now. And absolutely, I think oftentimes you hear people saying, I'm so passionate about this, I'm so passionate about it. But like you said, just because you're passionate about it, just because you love it so much, doesn't mean that somebody else wants it.
Right. And holding true to your passions is something that's very important. But just understand that you can still achieve and enjoy your passions here while you use your skill set. That's why God said your gift will make room for you. So you use your gifts, your talent, those strengths, right, to build a profitable coaching, profitable, because everybody may not be a coach here. You use that to build the wealth, the empire, right? And that doesn't mean that those things that you love, because we're supposed to be passionate about things that you don't get to enjoy them. You still get to enjoy those things, but just understanding that sometimes, in a few cases, the two can mix. And I don't want to say most times it doesn't, but most times it may not. And so what we try to do is try to force it, right? And so I'm saying you don't have to force it. You get to enjoy your passions here, and then understand that you want to use your skill set. Skill set is very, very important. Your talent and your strength when it comes to the wealth creation, when it comes to building profitable coaching businesses, right? So we'll separate it if you have to. In a few cases, some people can merge it and it works. But I feel like oftentimes people are trying to force it. And it's like, no, enjoy your passion and then build your profitable coaching company here, or your wealth vehicle here. So
Absolutely. Is there any other thing that you have not revealed that we don't know about selling high ticket coaching packages? Is there anything that you can think of that perhaps no one is telling us?
Well, I don't know if no one's telling you this. I'll share this particular one, right? So what I have here for number 3 is having a sales script when you're just starting out. Um, and I think in general, having a process. A lot of times, right? What I find is that the reason why people are not generating and creating wealth is because they don't have a system, they don't have a process. So everything is really random, right? So let's say you start off with a script, right? A lot of people are scared of scripts because I don't want to sound like a robot, right? But what a script does is that it gives you a general outline of how to go from, starting the conversation to, to moving the client along and to finally asking for the sale, right? So when you have a general script, what happens over time is that you just get used to speaking in that way. It becomes part of who you are. But when you don't have a template, you don't have systems, you don't have processes, um, everything becomes random. Your income becomes inconsistent. You have what I call feast and famine. One month is good, one month is not. One month is good, one month is not. And it's because you're not strategically, consistently using systems and processes to have conversation. So I think if I had to reveal one secret, the truth of the matter is the people who generate consistent income each month over and over and over again, repeatable, are using repeatable processes. So the one skill set, at the first thing I always wanted to teach my clients, let's use Tikwa, for example. Tikwa, one of my clients, she works with the C-suites. You remember Tikwa, right? She works with C-suites, right? Executives, right? And so she has a virtual assistant agency, right? So we added an additional stream of income to help virtual assistant create their own agency and get their own clients. The first thing I taught her, right? And this is why I said high-end coaching is all about results. The first thing I told her, usually when you go to another program, they're like, well, do this, do that, do this. It's like all this fluffy things, right? The first thing I told her was sales, how to have a sales conversation. When you can have a conversation with another human being, right? You will always be rich because that conversation not only goes into like in a sales conversation, if you're in the supermarket, if you're a networking event. And so when we went through the sales script, we did some trials, we did some practice. She was able to enroll clients, and her clients, while she was with me, were giving her testimonials. So she was changing lives while she was still getting coaching. So one of the skills that you must learn is how to have um, conversation that turns prospects into clients, right? And getting used to building that skill set. I feel like a lot of times people are playing on social media, and I don't mean to be like so direct about it, but I think that a lot of times like it's like this, post this, and there's a lot of posting on and posting quotes. I'm posting all these things, and we're not developing skill set that turns prospects to clients. So I would say the time spent, right, reviewing the sales script. For example, when you first start, you review the sales script. Like, okay, this is how I have a conversation, right? And you practice that over and over and over again and get really good at having a conversation that enrolls clients. You don't even need anything else, to be honest with you. I know we feel like we all need social media, we all need this. You are a walking, talking salesperson, and you don't sound salesy. Everywhere you go, when someone asks you, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I help clients, help coaching. I help people build profitable coaching companies." For example, I help my clients get more clients, high ticket coaching, whatever it is that you do, right? Everywhere you go, you say, and then people lean in. They want to know more, and when they want to know more, you share the next step of the script, right? So everything has a system, everything has a process. And what I want us to get away from is being random and thinking that everything that's being done is just random because the person looks natural. They look like they're naturally just saying what they're saying. And you don't see the behind the scenes. You don't see the iceberg that everything that's being shared is a process. And so what I want us to do is really, really take time and develop the skill set of having conversations that convert to cash.
And I hear what you're saying because oftentimes it's so funny when you said talk about social media posting. That can be very overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming, and for some people, it's okay. It's okay if that's part of their system, if that's part of their framework, if that's part of what you do, then it's okay. But have I done it? Oh yes, I have. just posting without any objective or purpose or strategy behind your posting. The strategy behind your posting. Yeah, you see somebody posting just once a week, right? But you can see the results of what they are getting. So absolutely, I get it, and I totally agree. So before we get to the closing,
Okay.
I know you have other things going on, and I would not end this conversation without giving you an opportunity to tell us how we can follow you, how we can partake in what you do.
I have a free gift actually for you. It's called How to Make a Six-Figure Income, Share Your Message, Change Life, even if you're just getting started. If you go to Queenette.com, is a free masterclass. It's 90 minutes long. And there I reveal how to price, package, and name your program. And this is so important. And also how you can use, how you only need 2 clients a month to change your life. Most people, for example, like let's say you have a 9 to 5, and let's say 5,000, maybe 6,000 can pay your bills, right? All you need is 2 clients a month. And so I show you the process of getting 2 clients a month, right? So that you can have, I guess what I believe in after, feeling burnt out and working so hard is I just want to be able to live my life while I help other people change their lives. Does that make sense? Like, is it fair? Is it okay for me to have like, my massages, my gym workouts? Like, is it okay for me to have a life? I go to Stone Mountain, like I play with the kids, like I'm able to show up in the morning. I want to have time to travel, freedom. I just want to be free, Christy, right? And so the reason why I love, 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 love high ticket coaching for women, especially busy women, women who are the responsible one in the family, women who are go-getters, women who work hard, women with multiple degrees, just women who've already put in a lot of work in the world already, like just already have worked hard, is because I like the leisure part of the rest of your life, being able to work with 1 or 2 people and then have the rest of the month off and already make your money, right? And I always say, just to pay for taxes, fine, go for 3 people, right? Just to, pay off the taxes or whatever it is, like all the fees for like, the internet and all the stuff that we use, right?
Mm.
And so I always say, can you find 3 people a month? And the answer is yes. In a world of 7.5 billion people, 7.5 billion people, right? And there's at least a billion. I don't know the number of Facebook. There's at least a billion people on Facebook. Surely, if you implement, right, just some basic marketing strategies, right, and learn how to have a conversation, you can get 3 people to say yes to you, your high ticket coaching. And so I just want people to believe that it's possible for you. Believe that you don't have to, have like a perfect speech and a perfect this and a perfect that and have everything all mapped out. All you truly need is the passion to be able to help somebody change their life, right? Change their life. And with that, just put it together. And I show you how to do that in the masterclass. So if you go to queenette.com, in the top bar, you'll see, Christy, I'm not sure if we can type it in.
Yeah, go ahead and type it in the comment section if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Can you type it?
Queenette, myfirstname.com. On the top bar, you'll see the free masterclass. And I literally send you behind the scenes and show you the behind the scenes of how I built my business, from the traffic to the marketing to how to name, price, and position yourself. And I also give you examples of how to name. Naming is so important, right? You have to be able to remember I said simple, clarity leads to cash, right? So how to name your program, because when people are confused, they just walk away. They're like, oh, that's so cute. I think I need something like that, but I'm not sure, right? And you walk away. And so I just want to like the things I struggle with. I'm like, if I always say like, if people could just like stop with the fluffy thing, get straight. And this is why I like high ticket coaching. Christy, I love high ticket coaching because I get to be Queenette. I get to be straight to it. Like my clients don't want the fluffy stuff. Like just tell me what works and that's it. Like, so if you go to that masterclass, have a notebook ready, have a pen, take down all the notes and begin to implement them. So I share it all with you there.
So can you do me a favor? Would you be able to type this on the comment section, please?
See, I don't know if I can. Let me see.
Because while you're doing that, I'm just gonna thank those individuals that are watching us. Again, Jackie, thank you all for watching. Nora Jackson, thanks for watching. Janice, thanks for watching. And she's
Thank
going to put the information for you to download that free gift. And I really think it's an awesome gift that you're going to find value in what in looking at that information. So were you able to type it?
I typed it in. I'm not sure if it went through in the live feed. Can you see it?
Um, Not yet. I don't see it. If not, that's okay. Maybe when we finish, we can. I can go ahead and still type it in.
Sure.
Okay. When we finish, everybody, I will make sure that I type it in a comment section. So if you come back on the comment section, it's going to be there. Okay. So again, thanks for your patience. I really, really appreciate you guys joining us today. And you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here from beginning to the end. So I don't take that lightly. So I appreciate it. Be sure to join us again every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So back to the regularly program. So, do you have any last word before we end? Any last word before we end?
Um, every coach, in my opinion, is a messenger, and there's something inside of each and every one of you that God put in there specifically to help heal, transform, and change the lives of other people. And so I want you to begin to think of yourself as you're necessary and that you're not an option. And when the minute you begin to see yourself as necessary and not an option, something inside of you wakes up. Something inside of you begin to realize that, wow, I'm very important. People need what I have. And not only they need what you have, they need what you have right now. They don't need you to be at 100%. Biggest mistake you can make is to think that because my life is not perfect, I don't get to serve in the area that I'm already gifted in. And so I want you to begin to think like, okay, maybe this area is not my life is not a 10, but in this area that I've been blessed with, I'm talented in. God gave me some things that I can use to help somebody else and begin to help somebody else. And you will begin to see the minute you begin to shift your energy, your body to a place of service and start serving in the area that you've been gifted, it trickles over into other areas of your life that you may be struggling with. And I just want you to know that your tribe doesn't need you to be at 10. They just need you to be one step or two steps ahead of them in order for you to change their life. And so I want you to just walk away knowing that you are ready already, and you don't have to keep getting ready or waiting to get ready. I want you to start right now. Use what God gave you and just always know that you are necessary. You are necessary.
And there, apps there, Jackie is confirming, you are right. I'm necessary. I am not an option. That's right. I'm necessary and not an option. So, I want to take the time and really, I know what time it is in East Coast now. You could have been asleep, but you said yes, and because you love serving people, and I don't take that lightly. I really, really appreciate you coming here and sharing with my tribe. And we're going to connect again to everybody. Please join me again or join us again, me and my guests, especially next week, because we're going to have a guest coming all the way from England. We're going to be talking about virtual photography. How cool. You can stay home. You don't have to leave home and still get all your photography done for your marketing. So join me again next week, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this show cannot be the same without you. It's because of you that I do what I do. So until next time, everybody, thank you all for joining me, Jackie, Janice, Nora Jackson. I appreciate each and every one of you, and Lowana Parker. And to my guests, again, thank you. And don't forget, this show is sponsored by Women's Coaching Association. To find out what we do at Women's Coaching Association, please go on over to Women's Coaching Association. It's women's with an S. That's right. Women's Coaching Association.com and click on the membership info, and you will find all the perks of becoming a member. And I would love to have you join. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now. Bye, everybody.
Take care.